A lot of people are doing NoFap streaks. They're trying to quit porn and they're really focusing on self-improvement, hitting the gym, meditating, journaling, doing all this stuff that all these NoFap YouTubers are going to talk about. But here is the problem with self-improvement. I went down that route 9 years, getting into self-improvement, reading all the books, but none of it actually helped me quit pornography addiction, and here is why. So what actually happened is self-improvement actually made my porn addiction a lot worse. Now, that might sound really weird, but the reason for this is I was avoiding, substituting, distracting myself from the reality of my porn addiction. I was doing all the things that the YouTubers told me to do, and none of it actually helped me overcome this problem. I relied on self-improvement to try and quit porn. So I would be trying to sort of get rid of this porn addiction by doing all the things like meditation and the gym and the journaling and all these self-improvement habits. But none of that actually taps into the addictive neural pathways, which is required to change the brain. So what would happen is eventually I would end up relapsing because I wouldn't stick with the habits. And I'd feel really frustrated with myself. I'd have all these self-deprecating thoughts. And eventually I would go, you know what, enough's enough now. And the desire would come up to engage in the porn. And I just wouldn't know what to do with that desire because no one had ever taught me what to do with that desire. And so I would end up going back to porn and I'd be back in this cycle. I'd have the relapse and I'd go, okay, it's because I didn't meditate enough today. Or I didn't journal. I didn't have the cold shower. I didn't go to the gym. So that's the reason that I have looked at porn. And so I'd go in and, I'd have all this motivation. Day one of NoFap, I'm going to get really, really productive and really, really disciplined. And we'll start again. And so I do all the habits again. Eventually the desire comes up, I fall off in terms of the good habits, the habits get worse, the self-deprecating thoughts come up, and I go and relapse again. And I was just stuck in this cycle, going round and round and round. And that lasted, honestly, like 9 years. It was a really, really long time. And it's largely because I blamed the relapses on these bad habits. That's how the self-improvement made the porn addiction even worse. So what is the reason that I was actually looking at the porn? The reason is my mind had become involved in an emotional, psychological dependency on a mind, mood altering experience. That sounds a little bit weird. Essentially what's going on is the brain had changed and I had these addicted neural pathways. So real changes in terms of gaining the permanent mental freedom that I'm sure you want from porn addiction, they take place when you're dealing with the urges correctly. Because what I was doing is I was trying to get away from those urges, distracting myself, substituting, replacing all that was going on in my life with self-improvement to try and get as far away from these urges as possible. But to deeply, truly change those addictive neural pathways and actually get free from porn for good, we have to connect to those urges and change those neural pathways. This is really, really important. So overall, what would I recommend to anyone watching this? I would say, go ahead with the self-improvement stuff. I still go to the gym, I still journal, I still take cold showers, and I do various other things in terms of self-improvement. It's just I no longer do any of those things to try and quit porn because I now know that none of those things are actually relevant to changing the addictive neural pathways. None of those things I used to do actually help me to stay free from pornography addiction. They're just not relevant at all because they're just focusing on the wrong thing. They're not focusing on that desire that inevitably comes up because the brain has now changed and the brain is going to want porn no matter what. So people are doing the self-improvement stuff but it has nothing to do with changing those addictive neural pathways, and so they're going to go round in circles and continue to engage in porn. Hopefully that makes some sense. I appreciate I've gone through it quite quickly and it's maybe a little bit of a controversial opinion, but hopefully for anyone who has been doing self-improvement for a while but has found themselves stuck in a porn addiction, this will provide some sort of hope for the future. I really hope this video helps you and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.